I have been actively tracking XDC's RWA value on chain over the last roughly 3 months now. And the reason why I have been doing this is because I've been waiting and counting down the days until that $500 million flows onto XDC from Leaky. But while we do wait for that, we do have some growth here, 5.15% in the last 30 days, $27.25 million. We're starting to see more and more money flowing onto, of course, XDC. Now, Mercado Bitcoin has 26 RWAs on XDC. We can see the stacked list here. It's all based around private credit. I mean, listen, we do have commodities. We have stablecoins here. We also have US treasuries. But for the most part, Mercado Bitcoin is like the number one here outside of course, Comtech Gold. I do suspect that we're going to start to see, a lot more tokenized value flowing onto XDC. We have confirmation of that. But XDC right now is at number 14. And we're not that far off from targeting Coinbase or Plume. So I'm watching this very, very close. And like I said, over the next 30 or 60 days, we should start to see that money flowing onto XDC. And I mean, listen, if we start to see it in clips, we'll definitely move up this list. If we see it all at once, I mean, we are going to move immediately into that top 3 spot. Now, before I really continue on in this video and really kind of go over everything happening around XDC, I do just want to quickly say that if you guys do want to get more access to a ton of information, definitely join up in the free Discord. Now, there's also a paid side of the Discord, which I personally think is extremely valuable because you get a whole bunch of access to information that I drop every single day almost, as well as weekly drops and mid-weekly drops. But also you get access to Tokenizer's research, as well as JD's TA, and also a team that I have been really kind of, supporting since going all the way back to 2021 as well. So if you guys do want to join that, you guys are more than welcome to. But with that being said, let's dive on in. Number 1, Elliptic. So Elliptic recently expanded coverage to the XDC network back in May, towards the end of May, actually. And we're pleased to announce that the XDC Foundation is now supported on the Elliptic platform. This integration enables institutions on XDC to access Elliptic's AML and blockchain analytics solution, supporting its specialized focus on tokenized RWAs, including treasuries, commodities, and trade instruments. Now, this makes a lot of sense considering, like I said, when we look at the tokenized value on XDC, it is on an upward path. And I do think that a lot of these integrations are actually supporting even more RWAs on XDC. For example, we also have another big integration, which did happen towards the end of May as well. We're excited to announce that XDC Network has concluded its integration with Utila, a leading enterprise-grade digital asset operations platform. This partnership empowers banks and financial institutions to securely custody assets on the XDC network through Utila's non-custodial MPC-based wallets. You know what's crazy about this is that we constantly see a focus put on 2 things: banks and institutional players. XDC is doing this, XRP is doing this, XLM is doing this, HBAR is doing this. Enterprise and institutional DeFi initiatives is the focus right now. And then we have the key benefits unlocked for institutions include secure custody with role-based access and granular policy enforcement, automated treasury workflows, token operations, and also transfers. Seamless connection to XDC network via customizable EVM RPC. This milestone expands institutional access to digital assets and accelerates adoption across traditional finance. What's crazy about this is that this is one of many announcements. Now, before we really get into the other announcements, there was another big push from XDC Foundation, and that's actually the celebration of the 6 years that XDC has been operating. June 1st marked 6 years since the launch of the XDC network, mainnet. 6 years of building a lasting infrastructure. Over that time, XDC network has become a sought-after destination for trade finance and RWA tokenization. It currently ranks number 13 among RWA chains on RWA.xyz, consistently in the top 100 on CoinMarketCap. But beyond rankings, the work speaks for itself. Some major developments in the past year. MMS Blockchain launched a masternode. Archix Exchange brought money market funds from BlackRock, Fidelity, and State Street on chain. SBI XDC and R3 SBI completed POC demonstrating that value via digital assets can be transferred over different DLTs. We also saw XDC network level up, enter XDC 2.0. 3 block finality, 2-second block time, malignant node slashing plus forensic monitoring, and Byzantine fault tolerance. May of 2025 was the busiest yet. Not only did the network join the Mika Alliance, but it also saw the integration of BitGo, Stargate Finance, Polytrade, Alinex, Utila, LibreCap, Elliptic, Bitso, Lifey Protocol, Jumper Exchange, cross-border payments, compliance, custody, liquidity, tokenization. Earlier this year, XSwap Protocol launched bridged USDC on XDC. In unison, XDC Foundation joined the Circle Alliance. Despite all of this, XDC has often remained hidden in plain sight. Not loud, not flashy, but always moving forward. And yeah, look at all of these integrations. I mean, guys, it's crazy to me that XDC is going unnoticed. Like, even the XDC Foundation is even saying, despite all of this, XDC has often remained hidden in plain sight. That's because it still is. With all of these announcements, if we actually go over here to the Medium post, okay, they talk about these big players. They talk about Deutsche Telekom MMS, for an example, Archix SBI. But they also talk a little bit about, all of the integrations and what it really means for the network. When we think about the adoption happening here, when we think about everything actually happening around XDC, obviously the big one to me is trade finance. They even say here, like, trade finance is also hidden in plain sight. Like the XDC network, trade finance and global trade as a whole are often hidden in plain sight. Most of us only see the end result of trade, the products on shelves, so to speak, but global trade is massive, complex, $33 trillion operation with untold nuances and intricacies. Not always apparent to the average person. Industry insiders and business owners worldwide know that trade finance is particularly antiquated and in serious need of tokenization. Blockchain has the potential to revolutionize trade finance, and not only has it begun, but the process is accelerating. Much progress has been made in the last 2 years with the adoption of electronic negotiable instruments, UK's ETDA, and the tokenization of trade instruments, such as bills of lading and other trade transaction documents, SBI. In June of 2024, France officially adopted MLETR, providing a framework for the legal use of electronic transferable records. Japan followed shortly thereafter, joining the UK and Singapore in recognizing electronic bills of lading. The gears are in motion. Bringing liquidity to Web3 trade finance will enable easier tokenization of trade finance assets and entry for secondary market investors. London-based TradeTech is a pioneer in redeploying trade finance assets to a secondary investor market. In fact, they were the first project ever to tokenize a trade finance asset on the XDC network, demonstrating a feasible digitization process. Now acquired by the working capital advisory firm Silverbirch, TradeTech will continue to deliver efficient, scalable trade finance products to Silverbirch's broad client base. These acquisitions and alliances herald trade finance's acceleration into Web3, underpinned by blockchain technology and, more specifically, the XDC network. Down here, we do have even more work. Of course, TFDI Connect in Dubai, led by Andre Kasserman and co-hosted by the XDC network and the TFDI. Multiple panels, including leaders from XDC Foundation, Ripple, and even McKinsey & Company, discussed relevant topics such as stablecoin usage in global trade finance. Trade Finance Investor Day in the UK, where XDC Foundation Executive Director Billy Siebel was the keynote speaker. UK Parliament's House of Lords Global Stratologues event, where Head of Enterprise Alliance and Ventures Saloy Benbala, I hope that I'm saying that name correctly, represent XDC Network. He actually highlighted the XDC network and blockchain technology's potential to modernize trade finance and streamline inefficient processes. And of course, tokenization is ramping up. Mercado Bitcoin, they mentioned. On top of that, we also have the Plug and Play Tech Center, which launched the first ever XDC Enterprise RWA accelerator. That brought in, so many big names, of course, Polytrade, Plume, Clearpool, and so many other ones as well. And then, of course, briefly mentioned above, other notable integrations with the network include, and they did mention Libre, Elliptic, and Utila. But again, when we think about what's really going on here, I mean, XDC is making so many big moves, but it feels like nobody's paying attention to the noise. Like, there's a lot of noise here, but nobody's actually listening. And it's just wild to me. But I do think that this is starting to change with integrations like, for an example, this one with Curve, because Curve Finance is massive, 377,000 followers compared to XDC's, 130,000, which, by the way, that has been growing. But we are live on XDC Network. By the way, if you guys don't know Curve Finance, you probably should. Number one, here we have the big update. Curve now live on XDC Network. We have why. Here are all of the benefits around XDC, which we already know about. But what does Curve bring to the XDC network? Full DEX deployment, permissionless pool creation, and integrated front end. This is very exciting because it's going to expand its institutional partnerships and RWA tokenization initiatives with, Curve, because Curve is now providing the liquidity infrastructure to support all of this growth, which we love to see. But like I said, when we look at the pools on Curve, total deposits 1.79 billion, daily volume almost 300 million. And if we actually look at the crypto volume share, this is about almost 4.5%. If we go over to DeFi Llama and we actually scroll down, we could see Curve at number 18 with almost $2.3 billion worth of TVL. And if we actually look into Curve Finance, completely, they do have TVL of upwards of 2.4 billion. If we go all the way back to January of 2022, back in the 2021 into roughly the end of 2021, so like the end of the big bull run of 2021, it had a TVL of roughly $23.5 billion. Yes, there's a lot of things that have happened, since, but still today, Curve is a giant. They are making a lot of money off of their platform. They are still a very prominent and dominant name in the DeFi market. So the fact that they're now supporting XDC like this, we love to see it. And also, Credifi is introducing Credifi 3.0, which with Credifi 3.0, this is on-chain lending tools, including risk scoring, collateralization, and more. And this is also live on the XDC network, leveraging its infrastructure for fast and efficient transactions. And outside of that, this actually kind of builds upon the integration and the partnership that they did ink back in April of this year as well. And today, XDC, in terms of TVL, only about 9.7 million. But there's a substantial amount of protocols. And, with Curve just starting, I suspect that this is going to grow substantially over the coming weeks and months going forward. I'm going to be tracking this alongside RWA XYZ. And if I do see anything big happen, I will keep you guys posted. I do suspect that this is going to grow, though, considering the fact that we know on June 10th, XDC Network did announce DeFi is evolving fast. Are you keeping up? On June 11th, they did hold this event with some big players from the ecosystem and from prominent DeFi protocols. And this was definitely a big discussion. And also Brink VC, the venture capital player behind XDC, Brink and XDC Network have selected 4 startups for the next Web3 accelerator cohort. These teams are building at the frontier of DeFi, RWAs, and digital platforms. So very excited to see DeFi and RWAs really kind of heat up on XDC. I think everyone should be paying attention to XDC right now, because if you don't, you might miss a lot of these big announcements happening. And I do think that XDC, I think this is going to be the year XDC really kind of starts to take over. So definitely focus on XDC, pay attention to it, add it to your watch list if you want. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely like, subscribe, set notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.